Hello and welcome to the next in the Enterprise series. So in this video we'll be looking at the shield visuals on the Discovery Constitution class. So this is basically the Enterprise Constitution from Star Trek Discovery and then in Strange New Worlds. So we'll look at the shield visuals on the Discovery Constitution class, or the Donny as it's more affectionately known as. The shields will be from Tier 6 of the Reputation system, the Phoenix store, the Zen store and the Event store, and then we'll also look at shields that you can equip to your ship that also have a visual aspect that can be just slotted into the visual area. So first up we'll have a look at the Vanity Shields available in the Tier 6 of the Reputation system, so your Discovery, Gamma, Omega, Nukara, Romulus reputations. The first one from there is the 8472 Vanity Shield. So at the moment we're doing the standard Discovery Constitution. We're using the Discovery Era Constitution skin. As you see, we've got several options here between Beta, Gamma and also the Mirror warship that I also have, but we'll stick to the base model. So we've got the green glow here on the deflector array, and you see some of the green lighting here on the underside of the saucer that we'll see better in a moment. We'll have the green on the impulse engines. We've got this green lighting following the lines here at the aft. And some more of the green lighting here on the underside of the nacelles, and then you can see the green glow on the inner part of the nacelle there. Due to this animation effect on the Bajor collectors, these remain the orange, so they do not change regardless of the shield. And you see some of this dark grey and the lighter white hull material pattern showing on parts of the hull there. As we have a look for the top down, again with the grey and the white there, we've got this green lighting effect, points here, very bright green dome for the bridge, and then this pattern here on the pylons, and some green lighting there at the aft for the shuttle bay, and then it's similar again on the underside. Next up we have the competitive Wargames Vanity Shield. So we've got a very yellow deflector array here. You can see some of this yellow reflective panelling on the bottom of the saucer from the front here. Slightly red there for the impulse engines, with the standard blue there for the nacelles, and again you can see some more of this yellow reflective panels here and some yellow lighting effects on the nacelles. The same here at the aft of the ship, and more of those panels at the bottom there and some more lights, same up here on the nacelles, with this hull pattern effect from the shield itself. Take a look at the top. So again, a lot of these reflective panellings round the saucer and then down the spine of the ship itself, and again there at the shuttle bay, and you see some more there with this yellow lighting effect on the nacelles. And again it's the same there on the underside, a lot of the reflective panelling and more of the lighting effects on the nacelles as well. Now we come to the Delta Alliance Vanity Shield. So we've got this teal colour here going around the rim of the saucer, around the front of the engineering hull with this bright green deflector array. We've got the green glow there on the impulse engines, some green lighting effects on the shuttle bay doors, same on the aft there, and green on the inner part of the nacelles, and some green lighting effects as well. I've got more of that teal there just at the front of the nacelle, down the inner part of the pylon, around the base of the pylon there. The saucer's got a very pale green effect to it. And you see better there those bits of colouring on the base of the nacelle pylons and up the pylon itself. It's got more of that green pattern going round the outside the saucer on the underside. Now we come to Discovery Legends Vanity Shield. So this just gives that oily look to the ship. I've said before, I'm not sure what that's going to do with Star Trek or Discovery, but this is the effect that they decided to do for this shield. I don't particularly like it, but I'm sure somebody does. See, it just changes slightly there as we rotate through the light source. Here we have the Dyson Joint Command Vanity Shield. So we've got this pinkish purple going around the rim of the saucer. You can see some of the pattern effects with the lighting on the underside there. Same again at the front of the neck, around the back of the deflector array. You see more of that almost carved into the hull look going on the nacelles. Same round the back of the ship and the shuttle bay. The impulse engines in the nacelles are just the standard reddish orange and the blue. And there's a better view of that lighting pattern that's going through all over the hull. And we see that effect a bit better on the larger sections of the ship. And you see some of that pink trim there around the bottom of the nacelle pylons and up the inner part of them. And more of that pattern again on the underside. This is the Gamma Vanity Shields. This is a metallic purple one. So we've got a very purple lit up deflector with the dark centre and a circle around that as well. See a mixture of the dark purples and metallic there on the edge of the saucer and on the underside from this view. And we've got the purple there on the impulse engines, same on the nacelles, and again a pattern effect with the dark and also the metallic purple. You see a bit of a shine there off the shuttle bay doors. And we've got these rings of dark purple on the nacelle with this metallic purple look as well, and same on the pylons and the pattern there on the hull. As we rotate through, we get that lovely shine, making the purple look almost blue. A couple of circles of the dark purple there, almost like a target there on the saucer. And another circle and a large solid filled circle of the dark purple on the underside. This is the Iconian Resistance Vanity Shield. So we have some dark greys, some pale greens, this purple white pattern going on as well, and there's that purple deflector array, almost pink, and same with the pale green behind it. And with this pinkish purple here on the impulse engines, almost white there for the nacelles, and this bit of pattern effect here at the end of the nacelle, and you see some more of that lighting effects there. You get that pale green effect on the shuttle bay, and there's that pinky purpley pattern woven into the pale green on the dark hull material, and same with the bands on the nacelles and the fins as well. You see some more of those almost rounded rectangles effect there on the edge of the saucer. And we've got the bridge module coloured in there with pink and white. Then we've got that purpley pinkish pattern going round on the pale green on the outside of the saucer. Some of that pattern there on the pylons for the nacelles, same at the top of the nacelles and the underside, and you'll see we're going through the light there, a little bit of metallic reflection and more of the pale green and purple pattern going on the underside there as well. Here we have the Lukari Restoration Initiative Vanity Shield. So this is designed to give your ship the appearance of a Lukari vessel from the missions in Star Trek Online. So we've got a bit of lighting going on around the front there of the engineering hull. We've got this purple and white effect here on the deflector array. Got a spectrum of colours there on the impulse engines. It's vibrant pink for the nacelles, and there's more of that white lighting effect going round the underside of the nacelles and here at the back of the ship. It's got a almost turquoisey pale green effect to the hull material. You'll see a bit better here on the side, and then following the lines of the ship we've got this lighting effect, which is white with some purple as well. Top down we've got that little bit of a shine as we went through the light, and we've got the lighting effect there going aft of the saucer, and then again that turquoisey green effect there on the saucer, and more of the lighting effects on the top of the nacelles, and same on the underside, a lot of it following the lines of the ship. We've got the lighting effects and then that green. This is the new Romulus Reman Vanity Shield. So this is your metallic looking shield with your greens, browns and reds. A very vibrant green deflector array there. You can see this reddish brown going around the rim of the saucer. On the back you've got the green on the impulse engines, the same on the nacelles. And side on we've got this white paneling effect here at the back of the nacelles, and then you've got your mixture of colours make up a pattern on the hull with a little bit of lighting effect there at the front. As you rotate through you get that metallic green shine off of the shield material. And then just below the impulse engines there you can see that light paneling effect again. Then we come to the Nukara Strikeforce Vanity Shield. So this is designed to give your ship the appearance of a Tholian vessel. So I've got this extremely bright cyan deflector array. You see some of this almost like stone carving effect going around the saucer, and this pattern effect on the underside there that we'll have a look at in a moment. At the back we've got the yellow impulse engines and yellow for the nacelle colour on the inside there. Again a mixture of the patterns on the material showing there. We've got a bit of cyan blue there at the back of the nacelles as well. As I rotate through the light, get quite a nice shine off of this. You can see there that pattern effect that almost looks like a stone carving on the hull, and then this more detailed almost circuitry like pattern showing as well. And there is more so on the underside with that pattern effect, especially around the inner part of the saucer. And here is the Omega Force shield. So we've got this honeycomb effect here on the deflector. We've got a different pattern to the hull material as well. The standard impulse engines and the cells there, especially the light up effect at the rear. Then we've got this banding of blue effect going around parts of the nacelle, and then this check pattern at the rear with the blue. And some more of that patterning effect at the front of the engineering hull and down the pylons as well for the nacelles. So look top down, see a bit more of that effect on the inner part of the pylons. Got some of the blues coming around various parts of the saucer as well. Same there on the underside. And the shield that makes you feel like you're taking a trip, it is the Temporal Defense Initiative Vanity Shield. So we have this spectrum of colour effect here on the outside of the saucer, the yellow deflector with bands of that spectrum of colour again on the inside there. Then we've got very vibrant pink impulse engines, yellow there in the cells, and again these spectrum patches on the cells as well. And I've got a bit of this yellow lighting effect going on at the rear of the ship. Again, more of the yellow lighting effects on the hull and more of this spectrum of colour here at the base of the pylons. Then as we rotate through the light, you'll see those bands starting to change colour. At the top of the saucer, more of that yellow lighting effect with a couple of patches of that spectrum colours that change. Same there at the bottom of the pylons as we rotate through it. Again there on the edge of the saucer, and on the underside more of that lighting effect with that rim of colour going round the outside. Now we come to the last of the Tier 6 Reputation Vanity Shields, and this is the Terran Task Force Vanity Shield. So we've got a dark hull material going on with some blue lighting effects we can see here from the front, and with this vibrant yellow deflector array. The rear with a cyan blue there for the impulse engines and the nacelles. You see the back of the nacelles is capped off with a bit of blue lighting there, and the blue lighting following the shuttle bay doors. And more of the blue lighting effect on the pylons and parts of the hull, and bits round parts of the nacelle as well. You see that yellow effect on the back of the deflector array. It's got an interesting pattern to the hull, and I've got the blue lights with a rim of it going around the saucer, and I've got the yellow lighting going down the inside of the pylons. And similar there with the blue circles and the blue lighting effects as well on the underside. And the next section we look at is the shield you can get from the summer and winter event stores. So from the summer event stores, they are the baseball series, and from the winter event, it's the only one at the moment, and that is the Fek'lhri shield. You can get these shields all year round, assuming of course you have got all the consumables during the summer or winter events. So here we have the Fek'lhri shield. So this is a very angry looking deflector, almost looks like the eye out of Lord of the Rings. We've got a dark grey hull material, and there is a bit of red rusty appearance to it as well, that we'll see a bit closer in a moment. So we've got the orange there on the impulse engines, almost yellow. Then we have the red there for the inner part of the nacelles, and this red material look to the end of the nacelle. You can see a bit better here with that dark green. There's a bit of rusty red sparkle or speckle to it, and there's that red material look to the end of the nacelle, and a bit of the red lighting glow on the back of the nacelle as well. As we rotate through, you can see that red pattern on the nacelle starting to glow a bit in the light. Same there in the saucer. As we rotate back through, looking at the underside again, that material on the nacelle starting to glow a bit and reflect in the light. Then we'll move on to the baseball vanity shields from the summer event store. So this is the Andorian blue bores. So this is your orange and blue look, and we've got this orangey yellow deflector array here. We've got this orangey yellow effect on the impulse engines and the nacelles, and then a mixture of the blues and orange pattern effect on the hull. Same there on the pylons and a bit there on the nacelles. As we rotate through, we get that lovely shine, orange shine there off of the material. On previous ships we've looked at, with these baseball shields, the pattern effect has remained the same and the colours have just changed in respect to whatever shield we've put on, so we'll see if that's the same on this model. There's the Bozeman Titans, so it's usually a grey and yellow effect on the hull. This time it looks to be more yellow than dark grey and even almost black in certain areas. And like the yellow there on the impulse engines, same again on the nacelles, yet we've still got this blue glow effect that hasn't changed, so looks to be another one of these ship models where the lighting doesn't reflect the colour of the nacelles properly, unfortunately. There's that dark grey and yellow striping effect there at the end of the nacelles, with some of the yellow and grey there on the pylons and the main body. Rotate through, we've got that yellow glow to it as we come through. And again, the pattern effect is the same as in Andorian Blue Boar's one there, just the colours have changed with regards to the shield itself, so dark grey and almost black circles there and the yellow there in the centre. Now onto the Caitian Claws. So we can see here we've got this goldy yellow effect and the purple, and same with that nice yellow deflector array there, and got the yellow for the impulse engines, almost orange, same there, going from the orange to almost yellow on the nacelles, again with that lighting effect that shouldn't be there. See more of that purple and that goldy colour. Rotate through, we get that nice reflective shine off of the material, and again just following the same pattern effect as the other baseball Vanity Shields have so far, and same again there on the underside. Then it's the Deep Space Niners Vanity Shield, so it's greys, whites, orange, reds and blues, so it's based off of the baseball uniforms in the season 7 episode of Deep Space Nine, Take Me Out to the Holosuite. So we've got this red and yellowy orange deflector array, you can see some of the blue and red and orange going round the front of the engineering hull. Red and orange there on the impulse engines, same again effect on the nacelles with that blue glow that shouldn't be there. Then we see the whites, the oranges, some of the darker orange as well. Then we've got this grey and white stripe effect, which I'm assuming is supposed to represent a baseball uniform on the rear there. We'll get this reddish orange reflection as we rotate through. And with having slightly more colours, it's a slightly different colour dispersal, but it's a similar pattern as we've seen to the other baseball Vanity Shields. And we come to the Denebian Slime Devils. I really shouldn't have to announce this one because the colour scheme kind of gives it away dramatically. So I've got the green and purples, the green there on the deflector array, with some green and purple at the front of the engineering hull, green there for the impulse engines, same for the nacelles with that blue glow. Then we've got a purple with some of the green striping following the lines of the shuttle bay. Again, it's a very similar pattern of the ship itself, just with the purple and green colours instead of the blues and oranges or the greys and yellows of the other shields we've looked at. This nice purpley pink reflective shine as we go through it, the light source. And same again there on the underside. Now we have the gold and green of the Ferenginar Liquidators. So we've got this yellow deflector, and again see the gold and the green there on the front of the engineering hull. The yellow effect there for the impulse and the nacelles with that stupid blue glow. Same pattern there on the shuttle bay. And then at the back of the nacelles and the pylons, again following the same pattern as the other baseball Vanity Shields, and we're just changing the colours. This lovely shine as we go through the light source. And same again as we rotate through to the underside. Let's quickly onto the stem bolts. So we've got the purples and greys and whites. See white there on the deflector with the various shades of pinky purple. Got kind of an off-white there on the impulse and the nacelles. And see the various shading effects there on the back of the ship. And same there on the nacelles, main body and the pylons. As we rotate through, get that lovely metallic pink look to it. And same there as we rotate through to the underside. Then we have the Vulcan Logicians. So again, based off of their uniform in that Season 7 episode of Deep Space Nine, they take me out to the holosuite. We've got a mixture of greys, purples and golds in this one. As you can see here at the front with the deflector array in the front of the engineering hull. Purple there for the impulse engines and the cells with that stupid blue glow, and then we've got some of that gold there on the aft and a little bit there on the shuttle bay, and you just make it some at the bottom of the pylons there. See a bit more of the gold coming through here, all the grey and purple. Rotate through, get that purple reflection off of it. And same there on the underside. Then the last of the baseball Vanity Shields, it's the Workbees. So we have a mixture of golds, bronzes, reds and browns on this one. So again we can see that effect there at the front of the ship, with especially that orangey deflector array. I have orange there on the impulse and the cells, and that blue glow that really does ruin the look of it. This side on we can start to see more of this reddish brown and the bronzy brown colours. And rotate through, we get that lovely shine off of the shield material and the light. And same again there as we rotate through the bottom. Now we're going to move on to the Phoenix and Zensto shields. So the Phoenix ones are only available during certain points of the year at special events, and at the time of recording there is only one shield in the Zen or C store, and that's the first one we will have a look at, and that is the Alliance Vanity Shield from the Khitomer Alliance bundle. So that comes with a uniform and a tech upgrade in that bundle. So we've got this cyan blue here on the deflector, we've got some dark greys and some lighter greys, almost white effect on the hull material from the front. Got the orange impulse engines there, the cyan blue on the nacelles, and there's a bit of gold here at the end of the nacelle. And we've got a bit of red piping as well in here, but mainly the dark grey and the lighter grey, almost white hull material. This is designed to give your ship a look of the Khitomer Alliance ships such as Jarok, the Khitomer or the Rex ships that we've had from events. And you can see more of that dark grey, and then we've got this red piping effect as well going around the saucer. And similar again when we look at the underside, and you see some more of that cyan blue there, just at the back of the ship, so the back of the saucer there, and the red piping there at the rear of the ship. Now we'll move on to some of the ones from the Phoenix store. I don't have all of them, something I will rectify during the next event where they are available. So the first one up is the M.A.C.O Vanity Shield. So it's a very popular Vanity Shield, this one. So it gives you this nice, very dark grey, smooth hull material, and this cyan blue here effect on the deflector array. This lovely deep red on the impulse engines, cyan blue again there on the inner part of the nacelles. So normally on other ships we've looked at, these have been the same in cyan colour as the nacelles, but even without that it still looks quite good with this effect on the Bajor collectors on this ship model. Go through, get this nice shine off of it, and then you can see some of the pattern work in the hull material there. So it's designed to give your ship the look of a M.A.C.O vessel. This is the Borg Vanity Shield that really should be renamed to Liberated Borg, because it does cause some confusion. So this does not give your ship the look of being assimilated by the Borg. It is more the look of the ship you've seen in the two-part episode of Descent in TNG. So we've got this blue effect here on the deflector. The hull is not smooth, it's very much a pattern of raised hull plates and various shades of grey on them as well. Got the blue there for the impulse engines and the nacelles. We can see here at the back it's supposed to be exposed conduits and that kind of effect, so basically the hull plating removed, and we've got the blue lighting there. Got a touch of the yellow lighting here at the front as well. And then you've got that hull plating effect to the saucer and the rest of the ship. And you see a bit more of that yellow lighting there underneath the housing for the impulse engines, and some more of the blue lighting there at the back of the saucer. Now we come to the Discovery Vanity Shield, so to give your ship that look of ships from Season 1 of Star Trek Discovery. We've got a very white deflector array, and there is lines of blue in there as well. We've got a light and slightly darker grey pattern to the hull. Got this honeycomb red there on the impulse engines, the blue there for the nacelles. And the rest is just the pattern effects that we see with the shading of the greys and the hull plating there. And there's a bit more of a dimple pattern going down the pylon there. This is the Emperor's Vanity Shield, so we've got that lovely orange effect there on the deflector. Again, it's quite a smooth looking material, so on this one. Similar to the M.A.C.O and the Section 31. Then we've got the cyan blue there for the impulse engines, we've got the yellow there on the work nacelles, and not too much of a blue glow to it either, which is quite nice to see. And got a bit of a purple shading at the end of the nacelle, and then you see some of this blue light sparkle effect going through the material, almost like a star field. You can just faintly make out some of that blue white dots throughout the saucer. Same here on the engineering hull and up the pylons and on the nacelles. And if we hold it there, you see it a bit better there in the shaded part of the saucer, and as we rotate through the light source we get a bit fainter. And here is the Kelvin Vanity Shields. This is on the Federation character, so it gives you the Federation look to the ship. So we've got that blue effect that we see from the reboot movies on the deflector array. We've got a mixture of light and darker grey, again patterned to the hull. Got this orangey colour here to the impulse engines, and a very bright blue, almost white, on the nacelles. And you see more of that hull pattern there. Now thankfully, because of this animation, we do not get that awful effect of the Bizarre Collectors from this shield on this ship. I've said it before and I said it again, they really do need to redo that effect, as it's trying to make it look like the Kelvin from the first film, and it just doesn't work on probably about 99.9% of the vessels in this game. I also wish they'd also split out the shield, because when you use it on a KDF character you also get a different look and colour scheme, but you cannot have that look on a Federation character. So if you want it on a Federation ship, you have to play as a KDF to get the different colour, and same if you want this effect on a KDF vessel, you have to play as a Federation. So if they just split them out as a Federation Kelvin and a Klingon Kelvin, it would be so much better, and it would also give us another Del Sync in the game. And the last shield that I have from the Phoenix store is another popular one. It's the Section 31 Vanity Shield. So again, a very smooth hull material. Got this nice blue broken circle effect here on the deflector. The nice red on the impulse engines, and this very vibrant blue glow off of the nacelles. On other ships we've seen the Bizarre Collectors have been blacked out. So some people do like that effect, others don't. I'm not particularly bothered myself, but I do like the fact that in this one the Bizarre Collectors are still showing. See some different shading there on the hull, and a different pattern effect there on the inside of the pylons for the nacelles. A bit of blue lighting effect there, this part of the underside of the saucer, and some red there just showing below the impulse engines. Now we come to the last section, and we'll be looking at the shields in the game that you equip to your ship that also have visuals on them, so you can equip them in the visual slots as well. So first up we have the Lukari Restoration Initiative Regenerative Shield from the Lukari Reputation. So you can see it's very bright, and we've got this bright deflector array here. We've got this lighting effect around the front there of the secondary hull. You see some lighting effects there underneath the nacelles from this angle. Very bright again on the impulse engines and on the nacelle colouring there, and there's some more bands of that lighting effect being seen. Again, it seems to follow the seams of the ship quite nicely. Rotate through, we get that blue shine effect reflecting off the light. Here we have the adapted M.A.C.O Covariant Shield from the Omega Reputation. So this one's got a nice effect on the deflector array. It's got this pulsating glow effect, as we see here. And then predominantly the effect of the shield is it's got a wee honeycomb pattern applied to certain parts of the ship, and you'll see here in the darker areas, and that gives a nice reflection. As you can see, this blue tint to the reflection there on the hull. See that honeycomb pattern there on the end of the nacelles there. And same here at the other side around the deflector. Now this just uses your base hull material and just puts this honeycomb effect over it. As you rotate through, you see that blue shine there as we rotate through the light there. And then you can see the honeycomb pattern covering most of the hull. Same again there on the underside. Next up is the Aegis Covariant shields. This is one that's craftable from the R&D menu. You can also craft impulse engines and a deflector array as well. So again, with the honeycomb pattern there on this bronzy colour for the deflector, with this blue white around it. Again, you're seeing this blue white light going around the outside of the saucer. And this is predominantly what this shield does to your ship. So we've got a slightly lighter colour there on the nacelles. You see a bit of the lighting effects here up on the fins, and a bit there on the rear. And then on the inside of the pylons there, around the base of the pylons, and on the rings around the nacelles as well, got some lighting effects. You see that base of the pylons a bit better from this angle. And we see that ring going round the outside of the saucer on the underside. And we get a bit better view of the lighting effects here and here on the aft. And if you do this on a KDF character, the light effect is actually orange. Again, we'll look at that when we come to do some Klingon ships in future videos. Now we come to the Assimilated Regenerative Shield from the Omega reputation. So this is designed to make your ship look like it's been assimilated. So there we have the Borg green effect there on the deflector array. You can see some of the hull pattern there on the underside of the saucer from this angle. Look here at the back, we've got this yellowy green effect here on the impulse engines, and the cells are a very bright green tinge to them. Again, some more of that material looking like missing hull plates and conduits. Yeah, a bit better view from the side here. That green glow going from the impulse engines, you see that green better there on the nacelles. On this side, and then as we look at the saucer, you can see more of that missing hull plates and the simulated conduit kind of look to it. It is a bit of an older shield, and it could use a little bit of a touch up. Now, I've said in previous videos that on the Constitution refit video that I'd done, I had equipped the impulse engines, the shields and the deflector array, so I've done the same on this one. So let's have a quick look at some of the changes here. So straight off, you've got this Borg structure here on your impulse engine, and then you can see there on the deflector array, swing round, you've got this green static energy effect that we see in the Borg, plus some of the Borg structure coming through the deflector array there. On some ships you also have some more Borg structures on your warp nacelles. It's not so in this model, but it certainly is on other ships. And there's that pulsating energy effect there again on your impulse, and you see the pulsating light go on your hull there. Now, I say if you wanted to make your ship look like it's been assimilated, it's a case of applying, I'll just us out to the Assimilated module if I can find it. Assimilated module on, and then under visuals I've applied the Regenerative Shield, the sub-transwarp engines, and the deflector array, all from the Omega Rep. And with the addition of the Assimilated module there, what you see is bits on the hull that just have Borg, almost like they've been attached, just clamped on. The next shield we're looking at is the Bajor Defense Covariant Shield. This is a mission reward from one of the later story arcs. So we have a darkened out deflector array here. Got the yellow there on the impulse engines, the cyan blue effect here for the nacelles. Got a bit of a pastel red going on at the end of the nacelles here. You can see a bit better from this angle. We've got this hull pattern that makes it look like there's raised parts to the hull. It's designed to give your ship a Bajor ship look, though we didn't really get to see many of them in Deep Space Nine, which was quite surprising. There's a bit of a yellow effect here to the pattern work going down the pylons here, and there's that groove and raised effect on the hull. And same again there on the underside. And here is the Counter Command Covariant Shield from the 8472 Reputation. So with this metallically blue greenish colour here, we've got the green lighting effect there on the inner part of the deflector array. You see a bit of the lighting effects there on the underside of the hull again. We're back to the greenish colour for your impulse engines, same for your nacelles, but unfortunately we've still got this blue glow coming off of them. Again, more of the greenish yellow lighting effects there. We've got that ridge pattern effect on the end of the nacelles as well, and there's the stripe of that metallic bluey greeny colour with your hull material. Let's rotate through, guys, a bit of a shine off it. The green there for the bridge module. Again, this bluish colour here around the outside with some of that green lighting, and same there on the pylons for the nacelles. As we rotate through the underside, again you're getting that little metallic reflection off the blue parts, and more of that green lighting effect as well. Next up we have the Delta Alliance Unimatrix shield from the Delta Alliance Reputation. So it's a bit of an older shield, this one, as we can tell by this effect here on the deflector array. It's supposed to be almost like one of the Borg discs in an alcove, but the shading's a bit aged out. We've got a bit of a gold trim around the front there, and same here on the edge of the saucer. Then we're green with the impulse engines and the nacelles. You see a bit of the gold there at the bottom of the pylons. A bit better from this angle, along with the inner gap there of the pylon, and a bit of the gold going along the edge of the nacelle, and same on the inside there at the back. And we'll just got this grey hull material with little bits of green lighting effects being shown. There's that gold rim there, and more of that little bits of green lighted triangles. Next up is the Dyson Regenerative Shield from the Dyson Reputation. So we have this purpley pinkish colour going round the rim of the saucer there. It's a bit of a lighter hull material compared to the Vanity Shield, with some of the dark grey as well, and you still make out some of that nice pinky purpley lighting effect there. You can see a little bit of it here on the aft, and then when we look at it side on, we'll see a lot more of it on the larger sections. See that pattern almost carved into the hull there, give off that glow. And then better view on the larger sections there of the saucer. Same there on the underside. And next up we are looking at the Iconian Resistance Resilient Shield from the Iconian Rep. So slightly different colour scheme from the Vanity Shield. We're onto the dark greys with this rounded rectangle pattern at the hull. We've got red and yellow pattern effects here on the darker grey parts, and some lighter grey as well. Then we've got this lovely design around the deflector array and this yellow deflector itself. And then we've got a yellowy orange effect here on the impulse engines, and you can see some of that pattern work there on the nacelles, and more so on the side views here. Rotate through, nice shine off of the darker grey areas with the pattern on it, almost a metallic shine to it. Yellow there for the bridge module. And again as we rotate through. Then we're on to the Nukara Crystalline Resilient Shield from the Nukara Reputation. So it is almost identical to the Vanity Shield, and with bright deflector array, the yellow there for your impulse and the cells to give it that Tholian look, and same here with the hull pattern materials as well. Next up is the M.A.C.O shield from the M.A.C.O Reputation. So we're in this honeycomb pattern again here on the deflector. Similar pattern effects to the hull material as we've seen on the Vanity Shield. It's using the same impulse and light on the nacelles. And the main difference with this one is instead of having the blue checkered, it's more of a gold checkered pattern. Same with the banding around the nacelles there. Again, we've got some gold on the saucer instead of the blue. Same with the effect on the pattern here going down the pylons. Then on to the prevailing innervated resilient shield from the competitive Wargames Reputation. So very similar pattern design to the Vanity Shield, except instead of yellow this one is blue. I do prefer the blue look as opposed to the yellow one myself. You can see underneath the cells again, a bit here on the rear. You see the bottom of the saucer we'll have a look at in a second. And more so on the side, so we've got the blue lighting effects on the hull material. And we've got the blue bands going round the nacelle and on the fins there, and then some of that reflective panelling on the side. And same here on the pylons as well. Now as we have a look at the top down, the reflective panelling there showing round the circle of the main part of the saucer, round the inner edge there, and then down the spine of the ship, and same here on the nacelles. And a lot more of them there on the underside, especially around the centre dome part of the saucer on the underside there, and then down the bottom of the engineering hull and the nacelles. And here we have the Romulan Advanced Prototype Shield from the new Romulus Reputation. So we've got this green and white banding going round the outside of the saucer. You can see it again there on the circles on the inner saucer, around the front there of the deflector array and the engineering hull. Again, more of that green lighting here in the back, same in the shuttle bay doors. As we look at side on, we start to see some of this green shaded areas coming in that are outlined by that green lighting effect. Same up here on the nacelles. And you see it more so there on the larger sections of the saucer and the top of the engineering hull, and more lighting at the base of the pylons, and more so again as we look at the underside. And then we're on to the Temporal Defence Initiative Resilient Shield, and this is from the Temporal Defence Reputation, so again it's a lot lighter in colour. For the Vanity Shield we've still got this rim of colour on the outside that does change with the light source, same round about the engineering hull. The vibrant blue there on the cells, same on the impulse engines, and more of that spectrum colour patching there at the back of the ship or the shuttle bay. And then with the rings of colour there on the nacelles, this leathery effect here at the end of the nacelles, and more patches for that spectrum of colour change that we'll see going through the lights. Then you'll see here that the lighting effect is more of a pink, and on the Vanity Shield it was a yellow. And then as we rotate through you can see those sections of the spectrum of colour changing as the light source changes. It's almost like a film effect on a bubble in the sun. There we go. This is the Terran Task Force Covariant Shield from the Terran Task Force Reputation, so totally different colour scheme compared to the Vanity Shield. We've got this purple here on the deflector, we've got a very much darker hull material, got the yellow there for the nacelles and the impulse engines, and we'll start to see some of this purpley blue lighting coming through as well. A bit more there in the aft of the nacelles. Then we've got this yellow lighting effect on the hull of the ship and in the pylons as well. As we rotate through, we've got that red ring around the saucer and more of that yellow lighting effect, and then we've got this blue lighting on the, almost like the 4 on a dice kind of effect going down the pylons here. And you get that blue there at the back of the deflector array pattern going on. See more of that purpley blue lighting effect as we rotate through it. And we're back to the yellow lighting strips around the hull and this red ring around the two parts of the bottom saucer. And we're on Tilly's Review pending modified shield from the Discovery Reputation. So it is the best shield in the game, especially if you do it with a two-piece of the warp core or impulse or deflector array, just to give you some hull regen. But the effect on this is the same as the Vanity Shield. It's that oily effect which just covers the ship. Again, no idea what this is supposed to represent. I don't particularly like the effect on it. It's not one I use as a visual at all in the game. We have the Dielectric Oscillation Resilient Shield, which is a mission reward from one of the older Breen missions. It's a very old shield and has aged well. This very vibrant blue effect here on the deflector array. Got the green there on the impulse and the nacelles. And the rest of it is this greys and blacks and pale, very pale yellow effect for the hull material pattern. As I say, it's not aged well. It's supposed to give your ship the appearance of a Breen vessel, but if you want it to look like a Breen ship, just get a Breen ship. This is the Jem'Hadar Resilient Shield. This is a mission reward for non-Jem'Hadar characters from one of the old Dominion missions. And if you start as a Jem'Hadar, you have this shield equipped to your ship to begin with. We've got the bright pink effect there on the deflector array. This pinkish purple here for the impulse engines and the nacelles. And then we're seeing the grey hull material with the purple various areas of the ship getting coloured in there. And same there as we look at the saucer down the hull. And same again there on the underside. And last but not least, the Reman prototype Covariant shields. This is a mission reward from one of the main story arcs. It's generally the first shield in the game that you get with a visual aspect to it. So we've got this blue deflector array, and we've got this metallic greens and almost golds and some reds and browns there as well. The green there for the impulse and the cell colours. And some of that light panel reflective material there at the end of the nacelles. As you rotate through, you get that metallic shine off of the shield. Some more of that light panel in there at the impulse housing. And that concludes this video. So thank you again very much for watching. Do remember to like and subscribe. As we've seen in the video, we did do a little bit around ESD, showing the assimilated components to the ship. If you prefer that setting to be looking at the shield visuals as opposed to looking in the ship customizer, by all means let me know in the comments. It's something I can certainly do for you. As always, there's a link to Casual Sab's YouTube channel. He's got all the builds, reviews, Q&As and live streams there. Also link to the STO wiki for all information about Star Trek Online, the main STO news page for all the blogs about things happening in the game, plus my Real Merch affiliate link for 10% off your Star Trek model order, and then also my social media links are there as well, and the chapters are listed in the main description, and I also have a link to a video of the ship just doing a wanted patrol as I've done on other ones. Just thought you see the ship fly, how it handles, where the weapon points are when it's in combat. But until next time, thank you again for watching.